Good morning to one and all. Today we will discuss about these properties of soil. In the previous class, we discussed different types of soils and their classifications according to their particle sizes. That means normally, majorly we are having two kinds of soils according to their particle size. First one is the granular soils. This is the different types of the soils, granular soils and sandy soils. In those also we are having different classifications according to their particle size. First one is the gravel and sand. After that we are having the silt and clay. Those are having one kind of classification. First two ones, gravel and sand, belongs to one classifications. After that, these are the different methods involved for the calculation of soil strength parameters. This is the total classification of the soil, sand, silt and clay and their permutations. Means one with one are combined and get different classifications of the soil due to this transportation, erosion and different physical parameters and natural parameters. And these are the classifications according to different agencies. That means in India, British conditions and American conditions. That means Bureau of Indian Standards BIS. After that, British Standards BS, and the next one ASTM, American Standard for Testing of Materials. Those are having different classifications according to the properties they are having. These are the Bureau of Indian Standards what we are having, and the classifications: well graded soils, poor graded soils, medium graded soils and fine graded soils. Different quantities we are having. In yesterday's class I discussed how we have to remember. We are having some quantity of terminology: GW, GP, GM and GC. In those, G means gravel, W means well graded gravel, poor graded gravel, medium and clayey gravels, likely bottom also. S means sand, well graded, poor graded, mediumly graded and clayey sands. Likely here they are having another quantity of classification. Okay, L, I and H. L means low compressibility, I means intermediate compressibility, H means high compressibility. According to that, M, C and O. M means medium and clay, and after that we are having inorganic. In both three conditions we are having M, C and O. L, I, H. L means light compressibility or less compressibility. I means intermediate compressibility. H means heavy compressibility or high compressibility. M means medium, into some quantity of inorganic. After that we are having inorganic content of clays, and O means organic content. These are the classifications. Today we need to discuss this group index. That means normally in the term itself we are having group and index. Normally index page we will observe in the front of a particular textbook or any other reference books, so that the index will show what are the things we are having on that particular book and their importance. Likely here we are having group index of soil, so that according to its particle size and properties of particular matter, the total soils are classified as a groups. That means one or two materials are simply kept together and they simply called as a groupy materials. Likely we are having this classification of group index. Once we need to observe those. For classification of fine grained soils with one group, for judging their suitability as subgrade materials, on index system has been introduced, which is termed as group index. In the first sentence itself, the fine grained soils means fine grained soils means normally we are having sands as a fine grained soils we are using, so that all those fine grained soils are grouped together for judging That means judging means simply we need to justify whether that material is suitable or unsuitable for the construction purpose. Normally sand we are having a different quantities, low quality sand, medium quality sand and high quality sand. Likely in this particular granular grained soils also we are having different classifications, so that we need to justify whether that soil is suitable or not. Means whenever we are laying a particular length of road, so that along that particular length the soil strata is which quality we are having, so that the road is suitable or not for the construction purpose. We need to justify by using this group index, so that all those are belongs to this group, and that means some quantity of materials are grouped together to judge those, so that it is introduced as a group index method for judging a particular soil type. Soils are assigned an arbitrary numerical numbers known as group indexes. That means different soils we are having, so that the group index will give a number. That means it is a ranking like system, so that 1 2 3 4, like these are some quantities of ranks are assigned to different soil types, so that by using those ranks we have to choose a better land for the construction purpose, likely roads in this particular transportation engineering. Next one, group index is a function percentage materials passing through 0.0474 mm sieve liquid limit and plasticity index of a soil. That means it is a function. Normally function means a several things are lies in a particular platform, that is called we are a function. That means normally in a function we are having a different quantities of things we need to celebrate together. Likely here also in this particular group index it is a function of a n number of things. In those n number of things normally we are having this sieve analysis. First of all we need to do this sieve analysis according to this 0.074 mm sieve, so that it will directly gives the particle size of a particular soil strata. Next one we have to do is liquid limit. That means what amount of liquid it will absorb, what is the percentage, it means what is the maximum percentage of water content, what is the minimum percentage of the water content the soil will absorb. Next one is the plasticity index. This plasticity index and other things are used to justify the this group index. First of all we are having this plasticity index, liquid limit and sieve analysis. All those things we previously we discussed. That means different soils having a different particle sizes, normally microns, mms, all those we discussed. So that in this particular group index we are simply choosing one sieve. By using that sieve we have to justify the type of soil, whether it is a coarse grained soil or medium grained soil or fine grained soil. After that liquid limit. Next one we have to do plasticity index, so that by combining all those things we are having some formula in the bottom. Gi means group index equal to 0.2 into a plus 0.05 into ac plus 0.01 bd. It is a some empirical formula which was derived by some constant equations. That means different quantities of soils are taken together and they need to observe different properties. Like in the above we are having this sieve analysis, liquid limit and plasticity limit, so that they have done several investigations on those particular soils and they formulate the below equation. Gi equal to 0.2 a plus 0.005 ac plus 0.01 bd. In this particular equation we are having four terms a, b, c and d. We need to know those terms and we have to use all of those in the particular equation. We will get the group index of a particular soil. First of all a, that means a equal to that portion of material passing through 0.074 sieve and greater than 35% and not exceeding 75%. expressed as a whole number from 0 to 40. That means whole number means it is a simply a positive number having a constant value. That means it is not as a fraction or it is not as a decimals, only a normal number which is lies between 0 to 40. So that this 0 to 40 we will give after conducting this sieve analysis. In the above we are observing sieve analysis with 0.074 mm sieve. So that we need to take a particular quantity of materials according to these laboratory regulations, and we need to conduct this sieve analysis. After that we need to observe what quantity of material was retained and how much amount of material was passed through the sieve, and we need to calculate the total weight of the material minus retained by total weight into 100. So that we need to get some quantity of retained percentage or passing percentage according to formulas. So that those values we need to observe, and we have to give some quantity of whole number lies between 0 to 40. That is the value of a in the particular equation. So that they have given some rule that the matter, that means sieve is greater than 35% and not exceeding 75%. That means the matter will have to pass 35% and the will not pass 75%. That means only we need to take these two as boundaries, 35% and 75%. The matter will not exceed 75% and will not be less than 35%. That is, the minimum value is 35% and the maximum value is 75%. Those two things we have to observe while we are sieving a material from 0.074 mm sieve. Next we are having is B. In this particular B, what we have is the portion of material passing through this sieve greater than 15 and not exceeding 35%, expressed as a whole number between 0 to 40. Okay, in this also we are having same sieve analysis, but the whole number, that means the percentage value is changes. That means in the previous we are observed 35% and 75%, but in case of B condition the percentage varies from 15 to 35. Okay, minimum quantity is 15%, 15, and maximum quantity is 35. So that we need to give for those also whole numbers between 0 to 40. Next one we are having C. In this particular C value there is no sieve analysis. We need to go for these liquid limits and plasticity indexes. First of all, this liquid limit C equal to value of liquid limit in excess of 40 and less than 60%, expressed as a whole number in between 0 to 20. A and B both are related to this sieve analysis, but in case of C is related to this liquid limit and D is related to plasticity index. Okay, C is related to liquid limit and D is related to plasticity index, but in case of C the limit will not exceed 40 and not less than 60%. This is also having some rational whole number between 0 to 20, and D is the plasticity index will not excess 10% and not less than 30%, expressed as a whole number between 0 to 20. Okay, the first two terms range is 0 to 40. After that A and B is 0 to 40 and C and D value is lies between 0 to 20. A, B are related to the sieve analysis, C is related to liquid limit, D is related to plasticity index. By conducting those experiments, that means simply we need to take some quantity of materials and we need to sieve. After the sieving is over, what quantity is remained and what quantity is passes. Those things we need to measure with some balance. That means simply balance thing. Normally balance means weighing balance. We have to go and we need to measure at weighing balance. That means that weighing balance will be exact, that will give exact value in mms also. Normally in shops we are observing some quantities of kilos they will measure, but in case of laboratory purpose we have to use the micro gauges. That means it will give some micro values also. 0.0025 likely they need to give the values in with respect to grams also. Likely those things we need to take, and we have to go for these experiments. After that, C and D. C is the liquid limit. Normally liquid limit we will do with Cassegrain apparatus. After that, plasticity index we will do some thread like things. That means the total soil we need to take, and in this particular total soil 100 grams of soil with 2%, 4%, 6% likely water we need to add. After each percentage we need to do some quantity of matter with small threads like structure, so that we need to observe what is the of the thread. By using those thickness, we need to observe what is the plasticity index, at what point the thread will breaks. Okay, that is a total procedure for calculating the group index of a soil. Next one, this is the only parameters. That means previously we observed group index of a soil, that the soil is classified into different groups based upon these liquid limits and the sieve analysis. After that, we are having tests on soil. That means these tests are entirely different. Why? Because these tests are done to calculate what is the bearing capacity. That means normally bearing capacity is very much important in our civil engineering phenomena. Why? Because to construct any structure on a particular soil strata, we need to have this soil bearing capacity, whether it may be a road or railway or any other structure or airport or any other structure. We need to have this value. Value is soil bearing capacity. For the soil bearing capacity, we need to have bearing tests. After that, we need to have some shear test. That means shear test means when we are applying a particular load on the structure. I will give some quantity of example. That means it is a normal soil. Shear means normally we have some quantity of matter. That means two opponent forces acting on a particular material. Automatically there may be some quantity of change of their volumes, so that the mass will move according to this direction due to layer by layer matter we are having. Normally in the soil there may be some quantity of layers. Why? Because in different climatic conditions we are having, so that every year we are having different climatic conditions with respect to temperature and natural conditions. Normally in one of the year, that means 2019, we are having some quantity of rainfall. Due to those rainfall, we are having some amount of rains and passing of this soil with water, so that some quantities of areas having some amount of deposition of the soil matter, so that those all soil matter lie as a single layer of the matter. In the next coming years, so there may be some quantity of rainfall. After that also we are having some erosion or deposition of the matter on the soil surface, so that those erosion and deposition will takes place layer by layer, layer by layer, layer by layer. Okay, due to this these environmental parameters. Likely in the figure I am representing a layer by layer phenomena. In the soil having that means the soil means the earth having a huge amount of age, like lakhs of years, so that the soil will deposits in several layers. When we are applying a particular quantity of load on the soil, definitely there may be some shear strength due to this layer phenomena, so that we need to observe what is the maximum shear strength that soil bears. Is that sufficient or not for construction purpose? All those things we have to observe by carrying this shear test. After that, bearing test means simply the soil will have a particular bearing strength or not for loading capacity. Next one, penetration test. That means penetration means what is the maximum amount of penetration was occurring when the soil having that quantity of length. That means that quantity of this value of load. All those things we have to observe. by conducting the penetration tests. These three tests are essential for constructing of any project or any building. First test is the shear test, second one is the bearing test, third is the penetration test. In the shear tests also we are having a different classifications. Also we have to observe these shear tests are carried out on small samples. That means a small sample is a small quantity of soil sample is essential for the carry out of these shear tests performed in the laboratory. That means only in laboratory. Some of the tests are directly conducted on the fields itself, but in case of this shear test there must be conducted in laboratories only. And those shear tests also direct shear stress. Next one, triaxial compression test, unconfined compression test. These three are the direct shear test, triaxial compression test, and unconfined compression test. Three variations in this shear test. That means those three are the three classifications in the shear test. So that those three we need to observe according to the soil classification. For black cotton soil or sandy soil or any other granular soil, we have to take and we need to conduct these shear tests. First of all, we need to take some small samples from the soils or grounds. In what place we have to construct a particular project, from that particular land we need to take some quantity of small amount of matter, and those matter will be tested in laboratories only. And those three tests are direct shear test, next one is the triaxial compression test, after one unconfined compression test. Next thing we are having a bearing tests. First one shear test, bearing test, next one compressibility tests. In the bearing test also it is carried out in subgrade soils. Subgrade means we are not collecting the soil sample from the above layers. We need to dig some quantity of soil strata. After that we need to collect these soil samples. Those soil samples are subgrade. That means normally we are having base grade. After the base grade we are having subgrade. I will show. This is the normally land we are having. So that up to some content we are having base grade. This is the base grade. After that we are having subgrade. Okay, from this subgrade we need to collect the soil sample from for bearing tests. That means direct. Next one, it is a in situ test. That means this test will be conducted on the particular lands only. That means in site only we need to conduct. Next one, load bearings areas. Load bearing area means load bearing means what amount of load will be beared by a particular area. Normally load bearing means we are constructing a building with the help of footings, so that all the load will be carried by footings, and those footings will transfer the loads to soil. So that we need to take these load bearing from the footings, so that each footing having how much amount of load carrying capacity. All those things we have to take from the building plans. Next one, those are called as the load bearing areas. That means the footing area will be taken as the load bearing areas. Next one, results vary with the properties of soil under lists. Means result will vary with the properties of soil under these tests. Why? Because some of the soils having huge amount of bearing capacity, some of the soils having poor quantity of bearing capacity according to positions. So that we need to observe 2-3 positions when we have to take an average value, so that the result may vary with the properties of soil under the tests. Next one, penetration test is a small scale of a bearing test, so that we need to observe penetration test. That is the first one we are having this is shear test, after that bearing test. Next third one is the penetration test. In this particular penetration test, size of the load area is very small and the ratio of penetration to size loaded area is large. Can be in situ or laboratory. That means in both conditions, first test were conducted in laboratory, second bearing test should be conducted in sites only. But in case of third penetration test, we need to conduct both in situ or laboratory. That means మనం సైట్లో ఉన్న చేయొచ్చు, ల్యాబ్లో ఉన్న చేయొచ్చు. మనకి టూ కండిషన్స్ అనేవి ఫేవరబుల్గా ఉంటాయి. After that, what is the CBR? That means it is the California bearing ratio. By using this CBR, we need to find out the soil bearing capacity. Okay, soil bearing capacity means the soil, how much amount of load will be the soil bears. That is called as the soil bearing capacity. Normally, how much amount of load will be bared by a soil, that is called as soil bearing capacity. So that this CBR value we will find out by using this test, CBR test. The normally in the olden days there is no CBR test. Normally we are having a small quantities of house with 1 story or 2 stories which are constructed with earthen materials. There is no steel or there is no any other cement. Only by using this mortar like calcium oxide and some quantities of resins from the trees and natural things they are collecting and simply constructing normal buildings, so that there is no calculation of these CBR tests and penetration tests or dialtometer tests. There is no need for those type of constructions. Why? Because there is a small scale of constructions. In this particular small scale of construction, the loads acting are very very small. All those loads are temporarily on ground level only. There is no penetration of loads. But in case of nowadays we are having a huge amount of structures, likely apartments we are having, normally apartments having 5 stories, so that the load is very very high compared to a normal house rests on the ground level. So that we need to do all these tests whenever we are going for construction. So that in 1850 or 1947, these tests are 1943. Previously we discussed this test, that means liquid limit test are proposed in the year of 1943. So that after that we are having these CBR tests developed by California State of Highway. California state is lies in United States. Okay, in the United States they developed these CBR tests for purpose of highway constructions. For classifying and evaluating the subgrade soil and other pavement materials for design of construction of flexible pavements. That means previously we discussed two kinds of pavements normally we are using. First one is the flexible pavements. Flexible pavements means simply tar roads. Next one we are having rigid pavements. Rigid pavements means this CC roads, cement concrete roads, we will call as a rigid pavements. Flexible means these tar roads. Why we called these tar roads as flexible means normally tar roads, the material is tar, it is a flexible. We need to convert the tar into different shapes and sizes in its plastic state. But in case of this cement, we won't convert the cement into different shapes or sizes. Why? Because it is a liquid content. This tar is a semi solid, so that it is a rigid pavement we will call it as a concrete. Flexible pavement we will call it as a tar roads. After that, this for the construction of flexible pavement they introduced this CBR test in the California states. Next, being an empirical test, CBR results cannot be related directly to the fundamental properties of the soil. That means being an empirical test, that means empirical means that is related to several things, and that means several things means several combination of formulas are lying on this particular soil properties, so that it is related to several things. CBR results cannot be related directly to the fundamental properties of the soil. Means the properties of a particular test is not related to the properties of soil. There may be some quantities of modifications will be required while you have to calculate this CBR test. Normally CBR denotes the measure of resistance to penetration of pavement material or soil or standard plunger under controlled conditions. conducted in a laboratory on remolded specimens. Undisturbed samples can also be used. Procedure for determining CBR value is standardized by various agencies like BIS. BIS means Bureau of Indian Standards. In the first thing we are having CBR denotes the measure of resistance to penetration of pavement material. That means pavement means normally the total pavement will be constructed on the soil strata, so that it will denotes a measure of resistance to penetration of pavement. That means measure means ఒక కొలమానం మనకి of penetration. That means penetration means simply when we inject some quantity of మెటీరియల్ ఆన్ ఏ సాయిల్ సర్ఫేస్. సింప్లీ మనకి ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను మీకు. పెనట్రేషన్ అంటే మనం నార్మల్గా ఇంజెక్షన్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. మనకి ఇంజెక్షన్ అనేది మనకి స్మాల్గా ఒక స్మాల్ నీడిల్ దే విల్ యూస్ టు పెనట్రేట్ ఆన్ అవర్ body surface, so that it will penetrate into our layer of skin, and it will directly surcharges the liquid into our body, and it will, after the surcharge of liquid, simply they will remove the particular needle. Likely they will conduct a small quantity of loads on the particular soil strata, so that the soil will have some give some quantities of values after the surcharging of these loads, and they will note down those loads. Simply after the loads is over, that means calculation is over, simply they will remove the load conditions on the soil. Likely this CBR will denotes a measure of resistance to penetration of pavement. That means normally pavement we will construct on the road surface. After the construction of the pavement is over, some quantities, that means daily there may be some n number of vehicles are moving on the pavement, so that due to those moving of vehicles there may be some amount of load will directly penetrates into the soil, so that what is the maximum load, so that the soil will bears. All those things we will measure by using this CBR value, so that some standard plunger under control conditions they will use. Next one, conducted in laboratory on remolded specimens. That means remolded specimens conducted in laboratory. This CBR value will conducted in both sites and laboratories. In the site we will conduct using these tests for the calculation of these penetrations of pavements. But in case of labs we have to use some quantity of matter, and we need to do tests. Procedure for determining of CBR value is standardized by various agencies. Previously I told different agencies in different countries we are having, like BIS means British Bureau of Indian Standards. After that we are having BS, that means British Standards. ASTM, that means American Standard for Testing of Materials. Like different agencies in different areas we are having, simply they will conduct some quantities of tests on material directly. By using those tests and codal provisions, we need to do our duty on construction process. This is the method we are using. Normally it is a CBR test, so that in the top we are having some proving ring. After that we are having in the middle of the particular ring we are having some dial gauges. Particular after proving ring of the bottom we are having the plunger of particular 50 mm diameter. Okay, in the bottom we are having 5 mm thickness of totally a mold. In that particular mold we need to keep a material. That means on the above a dashed portion is there. That means we are having some quantity of inclined lines, so that those lines will denote some surcharge weight in the form of normally we will observe in gymnasium. That means gyms lo మనం అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం some quantities of weight in the form of circular shapes. Likely in this labs also we are having some weights in the form of these circular shapes with one I will show. This is the proper. Likely we are having some quantities of rings, so that those rings having some quantity of thickness. Okay, these plates are normally kept in these particular portions. to create some amount of additional load on the soil strata. Below that we are having some soil sample. Inner diameter of mold is 150 base plate. After that the total height they will given. Once I will explain, we need to collect some quantity of sample from the field and we need to keep in the particular plunger. After that we need to create some amount of additional load from the top layer and we need to give some amount of load by external means by using this simply electrical power we need to use, and we have to give some surcharge load on the soil strata. After the filling of all the materials we need to fix the base plates. Why? Because we are directly giving load from the top surface, so that there may be some quantity of material will be మనకి మెటీరియల్ అనేది కొంత క్వాంటిటీ పక్కకు వెళ్ళిపోయే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది కాబట్టి కింద మనం బేస్ ప్లేట్కి యొక్క బోల్ట్స్ అనేవి ఫిక్స్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం వితౌట్ ఎనీ మూమెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ పర్టికులర్ బాక్స్, circular box. After that we need to collect the values by simply the load is increasing. After each increment of load, what is the value in dial gauges and what is the penetration of the particular soil, all those things we need to measure. Simply increment of load and penetration values, those two things we need to collect on the soil strata. This is the particular CBR test. This CBR test you will do in our 3-2 or 4-1 semesters. Okay, 3-2 means third year second semester or 4-1 semester. You have a brief knowledge on that particular CBR tests. Here we are having a clear cut clarification with the help of wordings. Once I will read those words and I will explain. A plunger of 50 is caused to penetrate into the soil specimen of pavement of material at a rate of 1.25 per minute. That means previously we are having a plunger. That means a circular rod on the above of the soil surface we are having. The plunger diameter is simply 50 Okay, those 50 will penetrate into the soil specimen at a rate of, that means rate means for every minute there may be some penetration of 1.25 millimeters. Means 1.25 millimeters means 1 means normally very minute, so that every minute they will create a pressure of 1.25 on the plate surface, soil surface. After that the loads required for penetration of 2.5 and 5 are recorded. That means we are simply giving a pressure of 1.25 per minute, so that we need to have values of 2.5 and 5 That means simply for 2 minutes and 4 minutes we need to record the values of penetrations. CBR value is expressed as the percentage of standard load value in the standard material. That means standard load value after 2.5 penetration, how much amount of load we have to require. For 5 penetration, how much amount of load is required, so that those two things we will be observed and the load will be standardized for that particular material, so that for material to material the values will be changes. Why? Because their particle sizes and textures and voids, if the voids are so high, automatically there may be huge amount of penetrations. If voids are very less, automatically penetration will be decreases, so that the total penetration value depends upon the void content of a soil surface or material characteristics. If the material is having some organic matter, automatically there may be huge amount of penetration, so that we need to choose first of all we need to choose the material from the bottom layers only. Why? Because on the top layers, due to these animals and other greenery is there, so that due to those animal movement and greenery movement, some quantity of matter will be mixing with this organic matter. Then simply this animal wastages, the cow dungs and this buffalo dungs, all those are mixed with the top layers. And vegetative matter, that means the greenery will be converting into this that means the greenery will be dried in the summer season, so those will be mixed with the soil, so that there may be some quantity of organic matter on the top layer, so that we need to remove some quantity of top layer and we have to collect the soil, so that we will get an accurate values. After that, standardized load values have been established based on the large number test standard crushed stone aggregate to respective penetrations of 2.5 and 5 mm penetrations. For 2.5 mm penetration, the standard load what we get is 1370 kgs, and unit standard load is 70 kgs per centimeter square. That means for a unit means normally a particular area. Normal standard load means the total soil surface will have to bear a load of 1370, and unit area will bear a 70 kgs. Unit means by centimeter by centimeter, simply means simply our finger, half of our finger top, that means half inch by half inch. 1 inch means normally 2.54 centimeters. 1 centimeter square equal to normally a very small thing, so that the small things will have to bear a 70 kgs of load. After 5 mm of penetration, the standard load is 2055 kilograms. After unit standardized load equal to 105 kg per cm square, that means centimeter square. That is the load values taken in the C-bear test. This is the total equipment what we have to do.